What is going on, Bulls and Bears? JJ here. I'm going to hold this mic. This is a mic that I use with my camera, and hopefully it'll cut down on the wind noise. I tried to do one recording of this, and the wind noise was awful, so this is my second take. I'm actually just out here running some errands. I'm in Santee, California, which is only maybe 7-8 miles from my house, and I'm kind of bummed out today, honestly. The place right behind me used to be called the Wrap Shack, and that was a what I like to call a healthy alternative for food. And they serve bowls and, of course, wraps, like the name implies, the Wrap Shack. And it was a healthy alternative. You could choose your ingredients. You can even choose things like quinoa for the bowl instead of rice. And even the rice, you could get steamed rice and organic choices. And it's closed down. And this is just one casualty of what I think is tens of thousands, who knows, of how many small businesses had to close down in the last couple years. And being a healthy alternative as it was, it made it a bit more expensive. Um, and these types of places, they have to pay their employees a little bit more to keep employees there, to keep staff. And they had difficulty doing that. I went in a couple times and I noticed new people, and the quality of the food started going down a little bit. And the quality of the food, and and the quality of the food started going down a little bit. Now, I'm not sure if that's what pushed them over the edge. Maybe that drove some customers away. It did make me go here less. So that could have been part of it. I could have been one of thousands of customers that also noticed that. But why did the food quality go down when the new staff came in? Well, the new staff, they probably were not as experienced, and they couldn't do as good of a job. And that's the problem that we're seeing with a lot of small businesses. They can't keep help because they have to compete with these mega fast food companies, McDonald's, Burger King, you name it. All the different ones that you see when you're driving down the street, all these large chains, they have to compete with these places that have food on the dollar menu, and it's not healthy. And they don't take extra time or expense to make healthy choices. How are places that make healthy food going to keep up with these mega companies, the fast food places? Well, they're not. And that's worse at the end of the day. It's worse for all of us. But it's not just that, it's the cost of living. When the cost of living is going up, McDonald's is going to have a much easier time raising wages to help their employees keep up with the cost of living, uh, keeping up with their own expenses, which are also going higher for businesses. And small businesses just do not have the edge, especially a small business that is healthy alternative like this place back here. So a little bit bummed out, but I'm sure you probably have noticed this too in your neighborhood, your neck of the woods, that businesses, a lot of times it's small businesses. Actually, what was it, 6 months ago, I did a report not too far from here where an entire strip mall, it was a small, very small strip mall, only about 5 businesses, all of the businesses gone. 5 out of 5 businesses in that strip mall gone. And they were all small businesses. None of them were national chains. They were all small businesses. And that is, I think, a sign of the times of inflation, the rising costs, operating expenses, the struggle, keeping good staff. And we have a lot of people now, and we talked about this, a few weeks ago also, maybe 2 weeks ago, the gig economy. These companies are having to compete now with the gig economy. We have people making a living doing the taxi thing with Uber and Lyft. We have people making a living doing the gig economy, and now they have to, businesses have to compete with that. And that's why, even though the cost of living is so high, and a lot of people would expect all these jobs to be filled because people are desperate for money, the gig economy is also keeping a lot of people from taking these jobs or giving a lot of people the option. I think the gig economy is a good thing. For example, we talked about the people renting out their vehicles, and that's part of the gig economy. People are taking away some of the business from these big rental companies by renting out their own vehicles. Now, you could say that's good or that's bad. It's bad for the big companies, and it can be a good gig if you do it right. Just like anything, if you do it right, it can be good. But this is what's happening, and it's going to be harder to get healthy choices. I've been trying to keep the weight off and make healthy choices. Sometimes when you're busy running around, you have to go through a drive-through somewhere, and sometimes you always don't have the healthy choice. And this place right here, what used to be called the Wrap Shack, actually there's a different name on it right now. I'm actually not sure if another business moved in and then they closed down also, because I looked in there and it's not open for business. It's mostly empty. There's not even chairs. So I'm not sure if another business moved in and then closed down already, or if it's another business that just moved their sign on there. They just put their sign up and maybe they haven't got it all set up yet. Either way, it's not good for small business, what's happening right now, the cost of living. And there's not much hope on the horizon. I know with the dip in gas prices, people were starting to sense that prices are going to start coming down. But if you look at other areas, rents are not coming down. Home prices starting to come down, but only in some areas. I see a lot of comments right here on this channel and in different parts of the country. You tell me that homes go on the market and they're still gone within 24 to 48 hours, multiple offers, right? So the mania is still happening in some places. The mania has dropped and turned into a plunge in some areas. Look at San Francisco, Vegas, Boise, Idaho, other cities on that list. Phoenix is starting to see big slowdowns. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We have these inflationary forces. We have deflationary forces coming in real estate right now. How's this going to play out? We've never seen this. People like to say history repeats itself. History doesn't actually repeat itself per se. It rhymes, but we have a lot of things different now than we did back in the financial crisis. Back when the financial crisis was first emerging, when it was first being recognized, banks were very uncertain that they would survive. They didn't know that they were too big to fail yet. They found out later, after the bailouts and after the promise from the money guys to do whatever it takes to keep the banks afloat. They found out after that, oh yes, now we're too big to fail. The banks know they're too big to fail. And that's why you see so much lending that really shouldn't be. It was very easy, even after the financial crisis, very easy to get a 5% down loan. Still the 3.5% FHA loans were out there, 10% down loans. It wasn't as crazy as it was before the housing bubble 1.0, or the first housing bubble, 2008 housing bubble. It wasn't quite as crazy, but we also had a lot of different type of buyers coming in. More investors came in and bought homes, more institutional buyers, but still the lending was very, very loose. And we saw what happened with home prices, right? So inflation here, a little bit of deflation there, still more inflation than deflation. What's going to happen? You guys let me know. I'm going to have to go find a better place to eat, because I was looking forward to getting a nice healthy bowl today. I'm not going to go to McDonald's, I'll tell you that. In an emergency, I may go to McDonald's, Taco Bell. We have Del Taco out here. I think that's nationwide. Del Taco. Just trying to keep the pounds off, trying to make healthy choices. But at the same time, you got to pay a few extra bucks for healthy choices. Better yet, you make your food at home, you grow your food at home. That's the healthiest choice of all, and it may be even the cheapest. I've been trying to do some of that. It's difficult. Tomatoes that I were growing, 2 of my plants are not making it through this heat. We're having some pretty bad heat here in Southern California. And a couple of my tomato plants didn't make it. Some of them did. So I'm looking at the types of tomatoes that grow. I'm just getting into this whole gardening thing. Again, back when I was younger, I was really into it. I actually grew up on a farm in Michigan. And since I moved to California, kind of pushed it aside. Didn't even think about growing my own food. Now getting back into it, and it's really hard. Plants die, and certain plants thrive in certain regions. You have to learn how much water they need, how much shade they need versus sunlight, all that stuff, that I don't really get too much into on this channel, but it's part of the puzzle. It's part of the picture with this cost of living really smacking all of us here. And, hopefully we won't see more good businesses fold, but I think we're going to continue to see the trend worsen. I don't see much on the horizon that's going to make this better. I hope if you do, please let me know what's going to fix all this. Otherwise, keep stacking, folks. Keep preparing. Stay well. Bye for now. Peace.